Hi everyone. I wanted to share with you 3 things you can do this year to make sure you accomplish your goals. And the first thing I want to share is that goals equal programs for your brain. So our brain is full of programs. So the way we think about things and the current situation we're in is all based on the programs that we have in our brain. And just like our body has a set point, we have set points in our thinking around money, around relationships, around the things that we're able to accomplish. And goals allow us to change those programs or those set points in our brain and grow and achieve bigger, broader, more important things in our lives. So that's why goals are really important. So with these goals, we're able to create new pathways in our brain. And just like going over the same trail over and over again in a field creates a pathway, it's the same thing with these goals and these programs. So what we're going to do is try and create new programs that we do over and over again and just make really easy for our brain to follow. And the second thing that I want to talk about is that goals without a plan are just a wish. So goals with no plan equal a wish. So if we have goals but we don't actually create a plan to accomplish them, they're not going to happen. It's just a wish, unless we're just really lucky. And another thing along this line that I want to point out is that a plan without action is also just a wish. So if we set a goal, make a plan, but then we don't take action on it, it's just a wish as well. So if I wanted to memorize the Constitution, what I could do is create a plan. So let's say I decide that I'm going to memorize a line every morning at breakfast. Well, if that's my plan, then I need to make sure I take action on it. So what I can do is every morning I can review what I've already memorized and then add a new line. And if I do that consistently over a month or 2 months or whatever my plan is, I should be able to accomplish my goal. And one thing that often happens with goals is we get excited when we first set them, and we're excited about the possibility of learning that new thing or doing that new thing and expanding our abilities and growing. But then when we start actually taking action, it gets difficult because we already have set routines and set ways of thinking, and this requires that we change them. So we need to plan on overcoming those hurdles as well and make sure that we have time and resources set aside so that we have the space to actually accomplish these goals. And then the third thing that I wanted to talk about is called the aggregation of marginal gains. And this comes from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it is an amazing book. I highly recommend it to everyone. If you haven't read it, check it out. They have the audiobook as well. And he just has so many amazing insights in there. And one of those insights is the aggregation of marginal gains. And what he talks about is Sir David Brailsford from the British cycling team, and how he basically took them from being one of the worst cycling teams in the world to being the very best. And I think since like 1906 or something like that, they won maybe 1 gold medal, and they never won a Tour de France. And some bicycle companies wouldn't even let them use their bikes because they didn't want their bikes to look bad. So once Sir David Brailsford took over, they went from the very bottom to the very top of the cycling arena. And how he did that is through the aggregation of marginal gains. And he basically just looked for ways to make everything 1% better. So he's just looking for little improvements that he could make over time to make them considerably better than the competition. And so some of the improvements were like having them take their pillow and their mattress with them when they traveled, just to make sure they could get a good night's sleep. And I think he also painted the inside of their trailers white so that they could see dust. So just these little things, making a lot of those little changes over time just had a huge impact and allowed them to become the very best in the cycling field. So if you get a chance, check out that book. There's another study in there that I loved as well. And they basically studied a group of photography students, and one group they told to take a perfect picture, and the other group they told to take as many pictures as possible. And the group that took as many pictures as possible had so much better quality work than the group that tried to take the perfect picture. So he just has a lot of great stories like that in the book. So I highly recommend Atomic Habits. And just by taking little steps in your daily life, you can have a huge impact over time. So say you want to become more fit, just by walking a quarter of a mile a day, if you did that consistently over a year, you're going to have a huge impact on your health. And then if you expand that to a mile a day, and then to maybe jogging a mile a day, you're just going to become so much stronger and so much healthier. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching, and good luck accomplishing your goals this year.